Hello, Gemini, and welcome to your monthly forecast. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. Great to see you. This forecast can always be used for sun, rising, and moon sign. Today is no exception. This is going to help you navigate the next 6 to 8 weeks, and I begin all of my readings with channeled messages. Today they came through in meditation, and I started my meditation outside, and as I was sitting there thinking about your sign, a little ladybug landed on my arm, and for a second I was like going to shoo it away because I thought it was a bee or something else, and then I paused. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a very auspicious symbol for me. It represents a change in fortune, specifically good luck. And if you already have good luck, better luck. It's an improvement. As I started to meditate on this, an old lyric from a Kate Bush song from the 80s came to mind, and it's from the song Cloud Busting, which is amazing. But the lyric was, I just know something good is going to happen. I don't know when, but just saying it could even make it happen. Basically, what Kate Bush is talking about here is the ability to speak something into existence. And the power in this, it basically becomes an invocation. When you believe it, when you can see it, when you can feel it, and when you speak it, it is a powerful, it's almost like a spell. You're bringing it into the world. So you're ready, you're worthy, you're willing, and now you're basically saying, show me the path, universe. And that can be your sort of prayer and incantation this month. I know something good is going to happen. Show me the path, because now is the time. I'm ready. I'm worthy. Okay? A very powerful sort of opportunity for you to just change the dialogue, change the program, and see how it goes. And many of you are watching this way in advance of the month, so it gives you a chance to put it to practice. Whenever you watch this, even if it's at the end of the month, put it into motion. It's important. It came through for you. The next thing that I saw in meditation was basically someone with their head in the clouds, and my guides came through and said, put your feet on the ground. Put some energy into the earth, basically. So I chose this card, and we're going to be using the Lightseers deck today, and it's basically taking a seed of intention and planting it. Saying, if there's a phone call or an email that you need to make something happen, you do that. If you just need to kind of roll up your sleeves and do some work, now is the time. Grounding your ideas into the real, into reality. So you speak it, then you do it. It's a two-part thing this month, but the invocation is the strongest of the two. This sort of follows suit because you've initiated that conversation, you've started the motion. And so we had the Wheel of Fortune on the first slide because you're changing your luck, your fortune, or your direction. And then we have here, it's like call and answer, the Ace of Pentacles presenting itself because of that. But grounding activities can include writing, journaling, having a conversation with someone. Again, maybe making some sort of a plan or a presentation or sketching it up. Somehow taking, whatever's in your brain, the cognitive, and somehow putting it on the physical plane. Let's go ahead now, give the cards a shuffle, and see what additional messages are coming forth for the month ahead. Before we pull the cards, please take a moment here, breathe in, let go of any preconceived thoughts, anything that might be bouncing around in your head. All right, good. Let's call in angels, guides, and any sort of spiritual assistance that you have from the other side, allowing, again, for me to be able to interpret the cards and pulling in the highest guidance for your highest good. All right, let's begin. There we go with the Wheel of Fortune. All right, it's looking pretty good so far. Let me just make some room for the rest of the cards here. this definitely feeds into the self-worth, self-love and self-worth. More love here. Grounding energy with the earth. All right, let's begin. We have catalyst energy first and foremost. We have a twinning card here, so let's see what the two messages are. The catalyst helps you make necessary changes and movement in your life. We have two, they're on their side, so we're going to look at these as opportunities that could be coming in from any direction. The first of the two is the temple, and when I'm looking at this card, it's saying you don't actually need to go here. The temple is right here. So you could just create this sense of presence and connection to divinity anywhere, whether you're at school, at home, in a place of worship, it doesn't matter. We're always plugged in. That's the illusion sometimes that organized religion doesn't want us to remember, is that we're always just one step away from connecting. So take some time and really be present and really connect to intention and direction. Listen to your intuition, and it's going to lead you in the right direction. But prayer and belief are going to be really important. And really this can be, again, just setting intention, saying, this is what I want. I believe I'm ready for it. Now show me. And you're going to be looking with your three eyes, not just these two, your clairvoyance as well. Show me the way. Help me feel it. Help me see it. Help me know it. Okay? And then lo and behold, we actually have the unseen here. This is the third eye. We're going to be focusing on going beneath the surface. By the way, this is also a call to action for any sort of contract that might be in front of you or opportunity where you can ask a question. Say, I didn't see this in the summary, the write-up, the dialogue. I didn't see this in the presentation. Or if you're touring a house, for instance, I didn't see this. What's going on here? So ask about what hasn't been said or shown. Ask about the unknown, the unseen, and go where others won't. That's really where your power is. Pay attention to your dreams, your first impressions, and anything that just comes through as a sense of knowing, okay? Suffice it to say your intuition is really strong this month, but by the way, can everybody see this? This reminds me of the Eye of Providence. You see this on a lot of seals, including when you go to the dollar bill, turn it, I think it's on the reverse side, you'll see a pyramid with an eye. But really, what we're looking at here is your ability to connect. We are all connected. We are all more powerful than we are often led to believe. So this is a reminder of your ability to speak things into existence, to basically change your wheel of fortune and spin it in the right direction. And if you need any sort of validation on that, we have it right here in the cards, in the environment, the wheel. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's begin with partnership coming through at the center, Four of Wands reversed. So in the upright position, there's a lot to celebrate here. This can be friendship, love. It can be the kind of foundation you're looking for. Four of Wands usually represents someone in your life that has your back, that truly wants to be there for the long haul. So it's not surprising. This is often an indicator of marriage or a good partnership. When you meet a certain friend or business colleague and you think to yourself, that's the one I'm going to take it to the finish line with, right? Or go down the aisle with. So there's a chance this month to pull in an unexpected sort of partnership, but just like these two cards at the beginning, the prayer card, or the temple card rather, and the unseen, they were unexpectedly on their side. So some of you might have someone coming in from a friend of a friend or a gathering or a party that you didn't intend to go to, but thank goodness you hopefully go to that because that's where that connection happens. March to the beat of your own drum, have some fun. Try not to put on a facade. It is your authentic, fun, true self that they come and connect with. And I even get like this sense of joy or laughter or irreverence. So it's when you're not really caring about how you appear. And that could also be why this is coming through, because you're not looking for it, but it finds you nonetheless. So a really nice message with the Four of Wands coming forth. All right, crossing the Four of Wands, we have 10 of Pentacles. This is contracts, friends, family, colleagues. For many of you, this can also be good news when it comes to resources. That's what we were talking about in the channeled messages. 10 of Pentacles is an abundance. It's what you work for. So many of you have worked really, really hard. Something is coming to fruition, and it could also be at a point where you're ready to release it to the masses. Couldn't get much better than the 10 of Pentacles, especially when we have the Wheel of Fortune in the environment. This is the level of doneness. This is the receipt and the return on your investment. So if you're watching this early, how does this translate? Get busy, get something finished. You kind of like queue it up for the end of the month and make sure that you're ready to hand it off. It's going to really set you in a nice sort of trajectory for the latter part of this year, or at least for the second part of this year. So I see that there's an encouragement basically to put the energy into work, education, development, launching things. It's a very, very grounded, very practical sort of message, and also put the energy into networking. By the way, if you go to an event, this is where you could meet somebody. So could be anything from a wedding to a work event. There could also be a celebration for somebody's success. There could also be a recognition even of somebody's, this could be like a retirement sort of party too. But what we're looking at here is people coming together and you meeting someone in that mix. Like energy attracts like energy. And people that are kind and want to celebrate others' success, you're going to find someone cool in that mix there. So definitely say yes to invitations. Do your due diligence when it comes to any sort of professional networking, and get busy when it comes to goals and aspirations, because with the environment coming through as the Wheel of Fortune, there could be a lot of return on that energy. Don't waste your time on people, places, or things that don't kind of like reciprocate. This represents the devil, you know that if you watch my channel. Four of Pentacles is not enough, but looks, for some reason we hold on to it. It can be an ex in our life, ex-boyfriend or girlfriend, and you're like, I know I can do better, but they're here and I don't want to be alone. That's an example of Four of Pentacles. It can be a job where you're working and working and working and barely scraping by, and they don't recognize the hard work. And sometimes we have to hold on to things until we find something better. This month, you're invited to find something better, because with both 10 of Pentacles and Wheel of Fortune, even the 6 of Pentacles, it's all advancement from here. Even this. Whatever was doesn't have to continue to be, especially if it wasn't enough, okay? This is also saying don't hold back, because this is a card of protection. You can see her holding this coin purse right over her heart, and she's like, I want to protect myself. I'm afraid if I put myself out there, if I wear my heart on my sleeve, that someone might judge me and I may not be able to deal with the rejection. What if they love you? What if they celebrate you? What if we actually get Four of Wands, 10 of Pentacles, and Wheel of Fortune? So we have to look at the positive, not just the potential, sort of negative spin. Put a positive spin on it. And take a chance on yourself, right? Reminds me of the ABBA song. So yeah, believe in yourself and take a chance on your own worth and possibilities, okay? And dreams. It's worth it. All right, as we look here in your recent past, there's a couple of cards that came forth. The first one, the presenting energy, is to be ready to ask for something. I recently talked about this in a daily card reading. I'm like, you can get what you want, but you might have to ask. Sometimes we just wish or want or prefer it when people just come forth and do what they're supposed to do. But sometimes you have to be the initiator and say, I want this. I want this job. I want this relationship. I want to know more about this. It's okay to want, and it's okay to speak your desires into existence. It's especially important to do this in a work environment when you are ready for advancement, but it's also good in a relationship, and you can say, I like you, I'd like to take this to the next level. If they don't want to, you can do better. It's okay. At least you know where you stand. All you've got to lose is this sort of maybe illusion of something that was more than it was. What you have to gain is knowledge, clarity, and that path to opportunity that we talked about. Underneath it, we have the Knight of Cups, and it's reversed. This is another opportunity for you to state your needs. So if you need or want something and you're not getting it, you can bring that into existence. There could also be someone who's interested in you. Here's the message from Spirit. If it isn't reciprocated both ways, don't do it. Like if you don't feel it, just say thanks but no thanks. If they don't feel it, don't force it. Don't force the connection is a nicer way for me to put that. So sometimes people can be in two different places, and that's all right. Again, at least you know, at least you put it out there and you have some clarity on that. This is also sensitivity. So some of you just need a chance to take care of yourself. This can be basically personal development or pampering. So if it's been a while since you've taken a vacation or done something just for you, now is the time to do so. As we take a look at the crowning card here, we have liberation, movement, and basically a reset coming through. A mental reset, because that's what the crowning represents. So you have a chance right now to think of this month as a clean slate. Letting go of the past, easier said than done, I know, but it's going to be pivotal, important, really, really powerful if you can just say, all right, I'm done with that. Let's bring opportunity. Let's bring on something new. Some of you may actually be moving or traveling. The Fool can be that. And you may also just simply be taking one step at a time towards something new. It doesn't have to be a radical change. The Fool is basically you getting your bearings, testing the water, figuring out what you want to do next. There is this beautiful protection symbol in this card here. We have an amethyst crystal, and it's almost like she's doing a trust fall. She's just letting go, surrendering, and saying, I have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So take that first step this month. This is your call to action. In the near future, we have Ace of Swords reversed. This is basically the universe coming forth and saying, it's okay to change your mind. The Ace of Swords is a developmental card. Some of you have really thought your way through something and you're ready to take action. Maybe you even started to do something and now you're thinking, oh, this wasn't everything that I thought. Maybe I need a little bit more information. Maybe I need to take a turn here and experience that instead. You're allowed to say no, change your mind, speak your truth. It's very straightforward. Anytime you have the ace, the page, the knight, the king, or the queen reversed, it's speak it. Don't put too many words in the way of whatever the purpose is. Just sort of really get down to the yes, the no, or the declaration, whatever it is that you need to put out there. This, for those of you that are writers or who are working on something that needs to be presented to a larger team, this can be going through and cutting some things, editing things, moving it around. So the sword can go through and find a sort of sharper focus, and it also is just about saying it without getting too lost in your head, okay? Pretty simple read on that. But oftentimes it is simply saying yes or no, and many of you already know what you want, so now's the time to do it. You're coming through in one of the most powerful ways possible here with the Hermit. This shows me that prior to this month, you've done the work. You've researched, you've thought. Maybe some of you just needed to pull back a little bit. You might have taken a hiatus and taken some time to yourself. The Hermit gains a lot from this isolation. You may still be in this energy of, I need some space when you watch this reading. I think that by the end of the month, you're going to be coming out of the shell, but there's a little bit of, it's almost like, again, you've made the decision, but the acceptance, the realization, and then the action that comes from that hasn't quite happened yet. But it feels like you're exactly where you need to be, and job well done. What's kind of interesting here, I was covering it up here, but this Hermit doesn't even need the lantern. The light is within. You don't need permission from someone. You don't need to necessarily go and get any more education, training, or proof of something. You've got it. It's closer to being done than you think, and we actually see that here in the Ten of Pentacles in particular, and the Wheel of Fortune. But there may be some attachment to old sort of like gatekeepers, advisors, or people in your life that used to give you that sort of green light. You're the green light. You're the source. So when you start to see that, it's going to get easier for you. And there is an encouragement this month, when you're ready to step out of that sort of hermit energy. We see it happening here. We see it happening here. We see it happening here. So one step at a time, folks, but I do think you're more ready than you might think. All right. In the environment, we have the Wheel of Fortune. It's waiting for you. It's waiting for you to say, here we go, I'm done, what do you think? And then we get a return on that. If you're job seeking, it's a great time for that. If you have your own business, we see some improvements with finances. If you're just working on your own personal goals or development, we see also a return on that. The Wheel of Fortune is cyclical too. And basically it can represent, just like the Fool here, a change for the better, not just a change for the better, but something that is going to help you sustain and feel more comfortable in the long run. So whatever change you want or need to make, now is the time. It definitely is shaping up like a change for the better, and you're worth it. That's really what I'm getting from this reading so far. You're worth it. You're more ready than you might think. So I hope I'm dispelling any sense of disbelief, and I'm hopefully elevating that idea of just saying it could make it happen. I'm ready. Do you want to do this? Whatever you want to speak out there into existence, yes, please do it. All right, we have the Six of Pentacles here. It's in the reverse state. It's in hopes, fears, and opportunities. You have the sort of opportunity this month to bring better balance in your life. So we see two hands here. We see a nice equal or equalizing energy happening between them. And if the balance isn't here right now, it's time for you to find or create that balance, possibly through having better boundaries and by saying no. In the traditional card, there's multiple people that are asking for things, and a person is holding the scales and they're picking and choosing. You can't please everyone. You can't do everything at once. You have to make some choices. Those choices actually will help you pull in more energy or help you conserve some energy. So eventually you can keep going down that bucket list and you're going to be able to do everything that you want. You can't do it all at once, but you can do it eventually. So that's the main takeaway here, is to be a little bit more discerning, say no, focus on where you can get the biggest return energetically. In the outcome, we have the Seven of Pentacles reversed. This is basically the universe saying, don't rush things. Don't overextend yourself, be patient. And it's really the latter that matters most. In the traditional card, we see someone that is a little bit more impatient than this guy, but what we see here is he's working his magic. He can't see all the roots, all the stuff that's going on beneath the surface, but he trusts that it's all worth it. So slow and steady wins the race. Don't expect immediate sort of like gratification. Just keep putting in the work. And we saw that you've got a good idea, you've got some support, and it feels like you're creating balance and growth here with the Wheel of Fortune, Six of Pentacles, and Seven of Pentacles. So it's all going in the right direction, so don't rush. The only thing that could get you in trouble is spending outside of your means, over-promising and under-delivering, or simply trying to push something before it's ready. So take your time. That's the takeaway there. Let's go ahead and expand this forecast to health, wealth, love, and destiny, beginning with health, which is your mind, your body, and your spirit. In health, we actually have one of the best possible messages around health, which is self-love. Your power this month, your power to attract the energy that we saw with the Ten of Pentacles, with the Four of Wands, with the Wheel of Fortune, comes from this ability to accept, celebrate, and love yourself. It's so much easier said than done in today's world because online, people have gotten very critical, very judgmental. Also, when we look at examples in media of what's possible, it is highly manipulated and artificial, right? And in fact, the big thing is AI right now. So we're going into this sort of like pseudo-reality, and it gets hard to look at ourselves kind of projected into that sort of scene and think, how do I measure up? You are more than enough. That's your mantra. You will make it in the I am more than enough for myself or for others, and I am ready for all of the abundance that the universe wants to show me. All of that and then some, like beyond your wildest expectations. Find a way to love yourself this month and to accept yourself. And if you need help, reach out. That's actually what we see here in the form of the Four of Wands: friends, counselors, best friends, and then colleagues and other people in the network. Right at the center, it's all connectivity. And yes, many of you are feeling a lot. There could be a lot of things going on. You don't have to carry the load alone. Let's take a look now at all of the cards here and see what kind of messages are coming through in health. One of the best forms of exercise is basically walking and just taking things one step at a time, not kind of feeling like overnight you have to change yourself. Again, loving yourself enough to be gentle and to just be slow with any kind of change, whether it's in exercise, diet, or even just sort of working on, not even, especially working on your mental health. Because, sometimes we think that everything has to be like that, but working through emotional issues especially, it's going to take time to let go of some of these things. And again, support could be really helpful here. I think this is a great time to work with a counselor, to work with an advisor, to talk to a friend, and just let some of this stuff go. Because that's what I see here is holding on to something from the past, protecting yourself, feeling like maybe this is something that you're afraid to share because it could be because of judgment or just because you're used to carrying the burden, but you don't have to. Lots of love and support at the center of this spread. Writing things out in journal form could be very advantageous because you can do so without judgment. It's your own journal. Put whatever you need to in there and then close it. It's sort of like a way to exorcise and clear out the sort of the mental clutter that we all kind of collect from year to year and decade to decade. Some of you may need to just take a vacation, a trip, or a walk by yourself. That space, that mental space, gives you a chance to sort out who you are and to also kind of like just quiet down the noise and all the stuff that's going on around you. So it's a great time for a vacation. The other thing here is just once things start moving in any direction, the momentum starts to pick up. So whatever it is that you want to try to start this month, it can stick. We can see it happening. And you'll see progress. It may not be as much as you want, but it's progress. And it's the kind that's going to sustain and surprise you in the months ahead. So if you had a really difficult health challenge in the past couple of months, what I used with the Kate Bush example is really, really key here. Imagine now that something good can happen, that you can turn a corner, that you can make this positive stride. It starts with a step or two, it begins to take root, and then things start to really pick up. If not now, then very, very, very soon. Some challenges this month. I think the main thing here is, again, saying no. We have two cards here of discernment, one of release, one of discernment. So letting go and saying no are important. Not pushing it too fast. One step at a time is enough. And asking for whatever it is that you need in your life. We'll talk more about that in relationships, but if you want it or if you need it or if there's something that's lacking, articulating that, because again, things can come to the surface. There may be something that you can't see but you feel, and whether that's emotional or it's something going on in your body, articulate that. As I was going through some challenges in my previous apartment, and I'm in a temporary place right now, but there was stuff going on and I had to go to a doctor, and I realized it was allergic reactions and other things, and I had to take care of it. And even if it's not showing up, you have to do your best to articulate it. The doctor can only work with what you tell them. So the other thing is, be honest. If there's something that you're afraid of or you don't know what it is, let them help you. Speak whatever that unseen thing is, and make sure that you're working with someone that cherishes you and supports you. You should never go to a caretaker or expert that somehow makes you feel less than. And I think that's everything here. Overall, it's pretty good. We didn't have any sort of alarming cards like the Tower or the Ten of Swords coming through in this spread. So overall, it's a pretty good month in every category, especially health. One step at a time. The only place where you're going to cause challenge for yourself is if you push yourself too far. Okay? Let's move on from health to wealth. This is resources, life purpose, and career. Let's see what the oracle card was here. We have Archangel Haniel coming through, and it says, embraced by love. Let love reach where it has never reached before. Let's pull this up so you can see it. We have a focus on this one on the heart chakra, and this card is protecting the heart chakra. And in the past, people may have made you feel like you couldn't achieve something or you weren't deserving of something, but this card is showing you you're worth all of that and then some. Really focusing on believing in your self-worth, healing your heart. So it's a continuation of health, but that self-love and self-worth will attract people that have the same energy. So when you love and respect yourself, when you have boundaries, when you say no, when you don't put up with any nonsense, you start to attract people that are in the same frequency. When you question all of those things that I just mentioned, then you get people that test your limits, right? We don't want that. So be strong, love yourself, and love yourself enough to stand up for yourself and say no if you have to, okay? Let's break this down into 3 major categories. Those who have a job, job seekers, and then students and retirees. If you have a job, it's a good month because you're making a splash in the best sort of ways. 4 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles. People like you, they're receiving what you have to offer. They might even be presenting you with a new opportunity. There's a little room for negotiation. So if there's a raise or an opportunity put in front of you, we see a little bit of room here. Not a lot, we're just looking at a difference of 1. So in monetary terms, that could be like 10,000, pounds or dollars or something of that nature. But there's a little room for negotiation if we're looking at like an annual salary. There might be a little bit of cost savings here. The main thing though, if we look at it and take it out of like currency amounts, we see something much bigger coming through. So if someone wants you to stay in a situation that isn't good enough for you, start to see what's out there. There could be a better offer on the horizon. And this kind of gets us into job seeking territory, which we'll talk about in a second. But I see better things around you. I see better things coming. And whatever happened, it was just the tip of the iceberg. It's not the end all be all. And we see a lot of people that may have taken a lot energetically or dumped a lot emotionally on you, but we don't see as much of that in the future. We see you starting to come into your power, starting to connect with people that have a little bit more respect. And if you aren't seeing that, this is a chance to really seek that out, okay? Getting a handle on your money is really important this month. I see some of you have struggled in the past. You may still be trying to make ends meet now, but we see things starting to turn in the right direction here. It could be because of a raise, an opportunity, something that pulls you in a better direction in the long run, and I celebrate that, and so should you. That's a good move. That's a good turn. Travel is a big part of many people that are working this month. You may be asked to take a trip. Some of you also, you're overdue for a holiday, so if you have saved up time for vacation, take it. Now is the time to do so. I think many of you want more freedom and liberation in your job. Speak up. Remember what I said, you have to sometimes ask to receive. People can't always intuit or read what you want. Let's shift the focus now and look at those that are looking for work. If you're looking for work, the card that comes through loud and clear is the crowning position here, the Fool. And this is basically your willingness to come into a new situation without any preconceived notions, without any sort of baggage or residual thoughts. Just say, I'm ready to embrace this for what it is. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm not going to get in the way of movement. This is really important for those of you that might be wanting to start a business fresh. So entrepreneurs out there, if you just started a business or want to start it, one of the things that can hold you back sometimes is this feeling, but it's going to be so much work, Nicholas. Yes, but think of how much joy you're going to derive when things start to move in the right direction. Obviously, you want to get a handle on the money and make sure that you have the capital to make it work. But assuming that you can and that you're willing to put in the work and be patient, it's definitely worth that. So rather than thinking of how much work it's going to take, think about how much freedom, because that card is about freedom you'll have. Think about how much opportunity it can bring in. And in the end, being your own boss could be really satisfying, right? So that's just one thing that I saw right off the bat. There could be some of you looking for travel. There could also be opportunities that entail or require travel if you're ready and willing to allow that to be a part of the picture. Speak up, speak clearly, and speak directly. This is especially true in an interview. Let people know your ideas. Don't edit them or kind of like hold on to them too much. If you have expertise, share them. That confidence, that clarity, that can be what wins you the job. We have the ability to get what you're looking for. Even if there's competition, and I see a few people that are equally qualified here, you're holding this chip here. The chip's in your corner if you're willing to go for it. But they need to see that you have this sort of experience. Some of you want to go back to school, by the way, or you may want to work in academia. I like what I'm seeing associated with that. So yes, if you're looking at that. I think the most important thing here is not to undersell yourself in an exchange here. So I think some of you were underpaid in a previous job. So you have to look at what the industry norm is. There are some cities, states, countries, and provinces that will not allow an employer to ask what your previous pay was. So push back on that and just say, why should that be part of this conversation? Or let me check, let me see if I have to disclose that. Some states allow it, some countries and provinces allow it, but there are some places out there where that's protected. So do your homework, and if you don't have to say that it's a way of allowing yourself to basically, rise up to whatever your true worth is, not what someone thought you were worth in the past. So do what you can there. When it comes to what's put on the table, there's a little bit room for like one back and forth. It's not a lot, folks. We see one set of interactions, and don't go so far, because like if you push too much, they'll walk, or they may call your bluff. So be willing to, to kind of just push far enough, but not too far. Your written word, your spoken language, your ability to just communicate in general is an advantage this month. But again, keep it concise. Don't overdo it. Less is definitely more here. Some of you are entering the world of finance with all these money cards. It seems like it's in the right direction. Definitely do your networking. It could become like from word of mouth, a good friend or a family member, because that's what these represent. So speak what it is that you're seeking to other people. Say, hey, I'm looking for this kind of job. Do you know anyone? And they may be able to forward your request. Shifting the focus now to students, here's what I see. There's definitely some concerns on just general finances, and I think this makes a lot of sense because education is getting so expensive. But there may be an opportunity here for a grant, some sort of scholarship, or some financial aid that was unexpected. Now we're going to lean back into the unseen. So definitely kind of like do a little bit of research and see if there's a category that you are qualifying for that may be flying under the radar. Even better, because there's fewer people that are going for it. Many of you may be looking at a career in writing, reporting, or somehow kind of using your communication skills, broadcasting as well. That's good. We see a lot of movement in that direction. So if that's what you want, yes. We also have people that want to give back. So this can be social workers, people that are teaching, nurses, people that are very involved with community here. So community, communication, finance. I'm seeing a sort of large canopy of opportunities here for those of you that are thinking of new courses, but I like what I see here. Follow your heart. That's what Haniel is really saying here. If you love it, go for it. If you don't, discernment is really, really important. Just say no. Focus on what is important to you. The main challenge this month for many of you is this feeling that you just want to kind of like get out there. If you're a student, this is a great card for studying abroad, taking an internship abroad, taking a semester off, doing what you need to reset. So get that mental reset, that emotional reset, and then remember what I said. This is a month where if you've started anything, you can really finish it and see a lovely return on that. So anybody this month that wants to put their energy or time into something that matters, you can see that happen. So if you need to take a break and focus on a passion project, great. But more importantly, if you just need a short break, I think it's going to pay off in the long run for students because you'll be energized and you'll be able to hit the road running in the future. For any sort of retirees out there, travel definitely comes through. There's a lot of tugging and pulling from family and friends. You don't have to go to everything, and you don't have to give your time, energy, or resources to everybody because we are looking at that. So there is discernment here. Your time is even more valuable than everyone else because you put in your dues, right? And you're at a different point of your life ostensibly. You can retire at any age, but many people are, in a different part of their life where they have to focus more on getting a lot out of the experiences, not sort of spinning your wheels or wasting time. So now more than ever, say no if you need to. Financial prudence is coming through here, but I also see the possibility of either selling, like maybe it's property, or moving an investment around in a way that is going to be more advantageous. Do your research, as this card flew up before doing any of that. Conservative energy is better when it comes to all of that because the Hermit is pretty conservative. There could be new love coming in for retirees. Interestingly enough, we'll look more at that in a moment. And also an opportunity to make some money. We've got so many money cards here. Maybe someone wants you to consult, to somehow come in and give some advice or do a session or something. If you want to do it, do it. It could bring in a little bit of stability for you as well financially. Okay, let's move on to love and relationships. When we look at your oracle card here, we have an Earth card, but it was reversed. This card says base chakra, strength and security, laying foundations. So the root chakra has to do with that feeling of being connected, and this root is upside down here in the Seven of Pentacles. So if there's anyone or anything in your life that makes you feel disconnected, discombobulated, or not safe or secure, it's time to say goodbye to that energy. Really use the Ace of Swords in reverse and say no, goodbye, or stop, because it's affirmative, it's clear, it's concise, it cuts those ties. And I think that's the key takeaway there. Let's focus now on 3 categories: those in a relationship, those looking for love, those that are happily single. If you're in a relationship, I see a little bit of a tug of war or some tension between the two of you and then extended family. It's going to be important to pick and choose and to speak up. You can't go to every single event. You can't make everybody happy. And at a certain point, when it comes to how the two of you might be living your life, you may have to have an important conversation, especially with a parent or a sibling, and just say, this is our business, this is our choice. And the hardest thing sometimes is when the family doesn't get a say in things in your life. But you have to prioritize that new family unit, which is you, your partner, and any family that you might have, any children that you might have, right? Speaking of which, there could be a birth. We have the Fool here in the crowning position. And that could explain why all of this is happening. Because a lot of times when a child is in the mix, everybody thinks they're an expert, right? So say no, have limits, pick and choose what you decide to go to and who you decide to listen to. You're going to be happier because you did that. For everybody in relationships, just the clear and concise communication is key. If there's something that you need to say, just getting to the point is going to be so important, so powerful, and doing it with a sense of love is going to be key as well. When we looked at the message here, though, the base chakra, it's about saying it with strength and letting the other person know that they are both loved and in a safe space, that they're secure. So as long as you're doing that kind of communication, you'll be fine. Definitely looking at time, energy, and money. That's the main pressure or stressor this month when we're looking at Wheel of Fortune, 6 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles. There are choices to be made, and together the two of you are going to be able to navigate this. Near future and outcome are pretty good. So I do feel like it's a manageable month in existing relationships. There just may be a need to speak up. I want more of this, or I'm feeling a lot of this right now. Have those sort of communications so that your partner doesn't have to read tea leaves or tarot cards to know where you're at, right? There also may be this feeling of not being seen or appreciated. I've been getting that a lot, even though this month is brand new. So speak up if you're feeling that sense of isolation. We got that here. Or if your partner's feeling isolated, try to be more inclusive. Okay, that's it for those in a relationship. If you're looking for love, can you find it? Yeah. This is an encouragement to get out. You're not going to meet anyone at home, even if you're on dating apps. This is also about the energy right now is really around people that you currently know. So friends and family may be more than happy to set you up, but you might want to say no to that because this energy came on a little strong. But if you are just out and about doing your everyday activities, that's when you could meet somebody in the elevator, at the supermarket, in the parking lot, just randomly at a sporting event or whatever. You don't have to try too hard. It's just about getting out of the hermit energy. There's a few choices that come through, but they're from the past. And I remember looking at this thinking, let the past be in the past. So I think now is about not going back to the ex, not revisiting old relationships, but instead calling in something or someone new that you haven't seen before. That's the main thing here from Spirit. They're not showing me the exact type here, other than they may be someone that is not from your circle, your immediate circle. They may be at one of these events, but they come through as someone that you haven't dated or met before. And travel can be a way to meet them. Just, again, taking a new path, trying something different. It's a fresh or new activity that brings them in. Look at your commitments right now. Free up your schedule a little bit. There's definitely an opportunity to do less and focus more on that if you're interested in that, okay? Don't be afraid to talk to them first either. Okay, if you are happily single, you have a lot of developmental cards coming through. It's a great month for business. It's a great month to meet new people, but particularly when it comes to networking or pulling in customers or clients or things like that, looking really, really great. Some of you are deciding to go to school to educate yourself, to focus a little bit more on finances. All of that is great. The sky is kind of the limit here, because if you're not tethered by familial or like friend obligations, you can just focus on building this month, and it's a great month to do that. Okay? All right, let's go ahead now and take a look at your destiny card. We have the Magic Guardian coming through here. This is basically like the Magician in the reverse. Unlock the magic within. Magic only works if you believe in it. Your ability to, like Kate Bush said, speak something into existence. Just saying something can make it happen. It only works if you believe that it's possible. So really focus in believing. Don't doubt or second guess your instincts. In other words, trust your instinct. Trust your intuition. Trust that gut. It's going to lead you in the right direction. Focus. A magician is powerful, but not if she is pulled in every single direction. So you have to make the choice, this, not that. And that is also one of the big takeaways this month. Now it's time to take a look at sun, rising, and moon sign messages. Let's give the cards a shuffle and see what's coming through. Sun, rising, and moon. Just had to check to make sure it was just one, and it was. All right, sun sign messages. We have the Tower. Major changes, major shifts. I don't always fear a Tower card because it can represent something really, really big, but in a good way. So an example of a good Tower moment would be someone proposing to you and you saying yes. You getting a promotion at work, winning the lotto, just having good fortune or good luck, and we actually saw good fortune in the environment. So a major change, possibly for the better. It's important for you to really embrace that and not second guess it. Remember the Magician card coming through. Believe in yourself. It's when we are in this disbelief that things get more challenging or difficult, or we pull people into our path that test us instead. I like to use the metaphor of a surfer, someone who is able to basically land on their feet because they move with the energy of change. The only thing that can hold you back is resistance to doing what's necessary. Now, some of you may have overstayed a welcome in a job, in a relationship, in a place that you're living, and then a Tower moment happens. I experienced one at my last place where it just got to the point where it was unhealthy. So when that happens, you've got to roll with the Tower. That's why I'm here. So rather than kind of like beating yourself up or arguing or whatever, just say, all right, we're here now. Now I'm open. Now I'm clear. Let's focus on what else I can do. Okay? So accepting, embracing, and celebrating the Tower, the necessary change. You're headed on the right path now. That's all that matters. Even if it took this Tower moment to get you here, whatever changes you make from this point forward are for the better. For rising and ascendant, we have the Seven of Cups, and it's reversed. This reminds me of the image that I had with a person that kind of had their head in the clouds. Traditional Seven of Cups does have someone looking in the clouds. I mentioned the key this month was to basically ground that intention, and we did get a lot of pentacles, including the Ten of Pentacles. One of the ways you can do that is by working with a group of people that support you or someone that really understands what's going on. But this is basically decision time. So for rising and ascendant, it's time to make a choice. We see this person kind of lost in thought and trying to contemplate what to do next. Trust what feels right to you. The Magician knows. They just know what they need to focus on. So one of the options in front of you calls a little bit louder than the other options may, and that's really what you want to focus on, okay? It's time to decide. You can do this. Don't second guess yourself. Confidence and clarity are the big personal growth opportunities this month. No one can decide but you, and you will make the right choice. Speaking that reality into existence is going to be important, okay? Moving on to moon sign messages. Trust also your instincts when it comes to people in your life that just aren't measuring up to what they said they were going to do. So if someone says, I'll help you, or I'll show up, and they don't, if someone outright tells a lie or just isn't as sort of communicative or doesn't disclose something, all of these are red flags. All of these are characteristics of the Seven of Swords. So if you see someone acting like this, trying to sneak around, trying to get away with something, not being the best that they can be, particularly when it comes to keeping a promise, it's time to cut that cord, okay? When it comes to your own sort of relationship with yourself, this is just about keeping it real. Keep the promises that you make to yourself, whatever they are. And if you're not ready to make them yet, don't get started. Get to the point where you're absolutely ready. And if you need an accountability partner to keep you there, great. But keep your promises to yourself and to others. Hold them to the same. That's going to help out. Don't engage with any new opportunity if people in the environment lack integrity. Integrity is so important. So if you have to compromise your integrity or if someone tries to make you do so, no. Always be transparent, tell the truth, and keep your integrity, okay? And that's the big takeaway for Moon. Let's now take a look at any final question that you might have for me and see what Spirit has to say. So formulate that question, take a deep breath, let go of any sort of attachment to an answer, and let's see what Spirit has to say. All right, we have an affirmative card here, Page of Swords. This would be a yes to a yes-no. One thing that I would say with this Page of Swords is they're probably doing a few too many things. We see all the birds around them, the ideation, the light bulbs, the research, and they're walking that thin tightrope of the Page of Swords sword. And so do less, but do it better, and really focus. Focus on being present. She might be missing something that's going on around her because she's trying to do so much. So if there's too many people talking at once, make sure that each person has a chance to speak and be heard. If there's too many points of input coming to you, pause and make sure that you're paying attention to them. And if you're like multitasking and missing something going on around you, it's just about slowing down and listening and looking more than you probably already are. I feel like many of you just have too many things going on at once. Slowing down is going to be so helpful, and it's really connected to what we saw here with the Seven of Pentacles, which can be forcing something to the finish line or trying to get it done faster. Don't take shortcuts, okay? That's the last takeaway there. All right, my friends, that is everything. If you enjoyed this, do me a favor, like, subscribe, share, comment. All of those things help. They're free, and I appreciate it. If you'd like to give back, you can do so with a super stick or super chat with a membership. And doing all of that helps the channel growth. It also helps me in repurchasing my supplies. I lost all of my cards at the last place because of mold and water damage, so I will be repurchasing them when I finally settle, and anything that you do to support me helps me get there again, so thank you so much. If you'd like to follow me on social media, you can do so by looking at Nicholas Ashbaugh on all major platforms. If you ever need the links, you can go to the main page of my YouTube channel. You can also go to my website, if I can find the link here. Here it is, nicholasashbaugh.com. By the way, there are a few imposters out there that will pop up. Just remember, I don't offer private readings and I don't use direct messages. And if anybody starts to message you asking for things or offering you things, just know it's not me. I just want to say thank you so much for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. I love the community that we have here. I just feel very lucky that many of you are so positive and really get a lot out of this. Likewise. I wish you the best. I look forward to seeing you. If you haven't checked out my weekly collective reading, I do it every Sunday. I hope to see you there. All right, everybody, have a great month ahead, and thank you again.